Welcome to the Sales Management Fireside Chat series. I'm Steven Rosen, your host, and I'm honored to have Keenan, CEO President of A Sales Guy Inc., join me today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the founder of Star Results, and we're a boutique sales leader coaching, training, and consulting organization. Our belief is that sales leaders are the key to driving sales performance in organizations, and we provide them with the tools, processes, and mentoring they need to be able to crush their sales numbers. Our mission to create thousands of master sales coaches who help their sales teams and organizations consistently drive sales performance. I believe that the best and most rewarding way I can achieve our mission is by educating, coaching, training, and mentoring, and transforming sales managers into great sales leaders. Becoming a star leader coach will elevate one's career, income, and professional success. Today, Keenan and I are going to talk about sharing our tips and hacks on coaching to help you crush your sales numbers. I'm privileged to have Keenan join me today, as I said earlier. And I just want to tell you a little bit about my buddy Keenan. He's the president of A Sales Guy, and he's also, not surprisingly, if you know him, he's the chief agonist. He's been selling something to someone for his entire life. He's been teaching and coaching almost as long. With over 20 years of sales experience, which he'll tell you he doesn't give a shit about, Keenan has been influencing, learning from, and shaping the world of sales for a very long time. Finder of the elephant in the room, Keenan calls it as he sees it and lets nothing or no one go unnoticed. Keenan's passion for problem solving reaches well beyond the sales and business world, and he's the celebrated author of Not Taught, What It Takes to Be Successful in the 21st Century That Nobody's Teaching You. His latest book, Gap Selling, is flying off the shelves. He's a proud, I'm sure he'll say that, a proud father of 3 crazy girls. He's PSIA certified level 2 ski instructor and an avid Boston sports fan. Keenan keeps crazy busy when he's not focused on a sales guy. He's been named one of the top 30 social sellers in the world. He's also been named as a top 50 most influential sales and marketing people by Top Sales World magazine every year running since 2012. If you surf the net on some really key sites, you'll find his articles in the Harvard Business Journal, Huffington Post, Entrepreneur Magazine, and Forbes. Let's bring in this month's guest. Hey, welcome, Keenan. So good to have you on my Fireside Chat, and great to hear about your success on Gap Selling.
Thank you, baby.
Secret to success is, buddy.
I'm sorry?
What's the secret to your success?
I don't know, man. Luck.
Hard work.
Tell you that luck doesn't play a role. They're just straight out lying. I mean,
don't give me that. Don't give me that. Let's get a
truth.
smile and tell me what you've been doing with Gap Selling.
Truth. I mean, look, I've been working my butt off, and I'm really proud of the book. I think we tackle some things that some sacred cows that people haven't wanted to touch, and really challenge how people perceive selling, and really add a lot of executional components to parts of selling that people have already sort of bought into, but just weren't executing well. And I think the whole combination came together and is delivering. But then it's a lot of luck too. I mean, there's been a lot of, look, Rocky, the movie, almost ended up never happening. You know what I'm saying? And because no one wanted to touch it. Harry Potter, no one wanted to touch it. So luck plays a role. And I feel really lucky and blessed.
You know what? Luck is good, but I know it's hard work. So you're known as the sales guy, right?
That's
and
what they
we're
say.
not going to talk about sales today. We're going to share with my audience, because I know you also are a sales leader, sales management guy, tips and hacks to effectively crush your numbers as a sales leader. We know that coaching is the #1 sales management activity that drives performance. So let's just start with the baseline. What do you see as the goal of coaching?
To make people better than they can make themselves.
Okay. I think
I
that's
said that several times. I said, look, great leaders get more out of their people than people can get out of themselves. Hands down, end of discussion.
okay. Thanks very much. It was a great chatting with you. Look, look at Mike. Okay. So in terms of goal, it's about making people better.
Yes, but yes, better. But the ultimate is better than they can make themselves. Because look, I don't want to be pedantic, if that's the right word. I don't think that's the right word.
I don't know what that word means.
It means to really get into the nitty gritty. So, but I really believe what I say here. Like, it's not just to make them better, because people can make themselves better. If you're going to add a coaching layer, you need to bring exponential value. Right? So the exponential value is helping people get better than they can help themselves get better, than they can do for themselves.
Got it. So when you look at the success of coaching, because most coaching, from what I've seen, misses the mark.
Yes.
And what I mean by misses the mark is they don't move the needle. They don't make, coaches don't make people better. And there's various reasons why, and maybe some of our tips will get them away from that.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think people miss the mark?
Well, I think there's so many areas. One, they don't realize what the goal of coaching is, and that's why I asked you. And I take it one step further. I look at the goal, if you're a great coach and you can help someone get better in one competency in the course of a year, move from a 3-on-5 to a 4.5-on-5, then you've done a good job as a coach. And to me, it's about focus. I don't think very many coaches focus on one particular skill. They're all over the board. And I think because there's a lack of focus, how do you gauge success? Well, I'm coaching my salespeople, but you're coaching to flavor of the day. Today, you need help on your gap selling. Tomorrow, you need help on your closing. Nothing changes if you go that approach. So that's one of my key feelings. And so along those lines, from your perspective, and really it's about sharing. Hey, if you disagree, you let me know.
Oh, yeah, of course, you know that. Of course,
I know that, and it works both ways. So,
yeah.
So if you're to look, where does coaching start? Where do you start coaching? And this is a trick question because I have an answer for it, but I'm putting you on the spot here just because you're a sharp guy.
Well, I think the first part is it depends. If you're asking me, where does coaching start, where it's a collaborative effort, where I call you up and say, listen, I realize I have some deficiencies and I'm looking for coaching, or if I'm, for instance, with my daughter and her mogul skiing, or my other daughter, her soccer, and my other daughter, her skiing, if I get them a coach, that's us acknowledging that we want some improvement and we want to go in. And so that's where it starts there is different than where it starts in business. If you start in that situation, it starts with getting on the same page with one another about, getting on the same page with one another about what the outcomes are, what you're looking to accomplish, what's important to you, and how you two can work together to get to some desired outcome. And it's accepting the coaching, accepting the work.
Boom. You're right on. Yeah. And I phrase it differently, but I say coaching starts with a plan.
Yes.
Because if you don't have a plan, where does the coaching go?
Yes. So the reason I put it that way, though, this is really important.
I love how you put it.
And I think you're going to like this. So notice I use that on the side where I come to you and say, I think I need coaching. In the workspace where I, as your manager, have the assumed responsibility of coaching, coaching starts at you acknowledging and being willing to accept my coaching. Because in that situation, I didn't call you. Just because I said I'm going to come work for you does not mean I signed up to be coached by you.
You're right.
I have to, right? So in that environment, I'm sorry?
You have to earn that right.
I have to earn it as a coach, but you as the individual have to say, I want to be coached. I want to learn. I want to grow, and I want you to help me. So in the workspace where it's implied, you have to move it from implication to explicit. You have to get the person to say, I want coaching. I want to get better. I am coachable. Then we can build a plan. And that is one thing too many people miss. There are people who get hired every fucking day who have no intention or no desire to get better. And don't you dare waste my time telling me I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone.
You're right. You're right. And hopefully we figure those out soon enough. And we say, hey, you're not coachable. Sorry, you don't fit our organization.
Get out. Yes.
Right? But some people get offended with that thinking.
Wow, too bad for them.
Okay. You see, this is the badass. I was looking forward to this because
my old days, I was probably a lot tougher than I am now. But,
You're a Canadian. You can't be tough.
hey,
You're nice.
You know what? Yes, but in my old days when I was heading up a sales force, I was about results, and of course, people. It's people, results through people. So, okay, so what is the mindset shift? If you're going to tell my audience and say, hey, guys, this is the shift you have to make, because there's a couple of things you just brought up that are, I don't know if they're mind bending, but they're so true that one, you need to earn the coaching. You need to make sure the individual's bought in and realizes, they have to be committed to the process. But we talk about a mindset shift. We talk about coaching.
Yeah, you got to look. In my opinion, the mindset shift is, well, I mean, I hope it's not a shift, but maybe it is for some people, that you better be in coaching for others and not yourself. If you see that coaching is for you, then no one's going to buy into it. You got to understand that you should be motivated and driven and be in the mindset that I genuinely want to make this person better for them. And by default, it could help me because they work on my team or they're part of my organization or there's a default win for you. But if you're looking at coaching, it's for you to get your numbers to make you better. That's the wrong attitude. You have to genuinely commit to serving and supporting people for them to be better in order for you to be a good coach.
I'm with you. It's about intention and a serving mindset.
Yes.
So how do you go about that? Okay, I'm trying to nail you down to a specific area, but isn't the shift? And I agree with you. Isn't it about moving from telling people what to do? Because I'm sure your 3 daughters don't want to be told what to do. Mm-hmm. I've got 2 kids, and sometimes I try, but I realize nobody wants to be told what to do. I don't want to be told what to do. That's why I run my own business, right? So it's asking people.
So this is where we're going to diverge, and it's going to make for a good debate.
Good.
I don't subscribe to an asking coaching methodology.
Okay, so tell me what you subscribe to, so I can find ways to knock it down. No.
Yeah, no, good. So listen, how do I do this? The only ask I have is in the beginning. Do you want to be coached? Right? And it's not like that, but yes, right? And then from there, if the answer is yes, then from there I subscribe to what I call observe, describe, prescribe, absorb, and apply. And so what that means is I'm going to watch you. So we're going to build a plan. We're on the same page there. You and I are on the same page.
Yeah.
Build a plan, right? Where we want to go. Then I'm going to start observing your behaviors, your actions, your skills, whatever it is we're working on, right? I'm going to observe those. I'm then going to describe back to you what I saw, right? And I'm going to describe them in terms of the impact they have to your desired outcome.
I got it.
Okay? Yeah. Then from there, I'm going to prescribe. I'm going to tell you what you need to do. And then I'm going to watch and see if you absorb it. We'll have questions and discuss. Then you're going to apply it. And I'm going to see how you apply it. And then you wash, rinse, and repeat. And so I came up with this, went through ski school. So I'm a PSIA level 2 certified ski instructor. And it's part of their, what they call guest-centered teaching model, right? And I applied it to myself. I spend a lot of money every year, well, almost every year, going to your country, to Whistler.
We got the best hills, man.
Yes, you do. You get some of the best hills. I'll go with that. But yes, in the summer, it's one of the best hills for sure. So I go to Whistler in June or July, and I pay to be coached by, Philippe Marquis. I get to ski with Mikkel Kingsbury, who actually won your gold in moguls, and Sylvie's like a national hero for you guys, at least on the East Coast, right? And ski with these former and current Olympians and World Cup mogul skiers. And that's what they do. They watch me ski, and then they tell me what to do. And here's the cool part, and why it really resonated with me. I beg them to tell me. And my youngest daughter's like this. I will ski a lap and say, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Don't ask me. Tell me. You saw me. You're the expert. Tell me. I'll do it again. Did I do it? This was right. This was right. No, you missed this. You missed this. I do it again. Those who are committed want to be told because you're the expert. We got the asking taken care of in the beginning. Now that I've asked, good, I'll do it. I'm committed. Let's go.
Okay. I like it, but I see faults there.
Fair enough.
Okay. So here's the challenge. Okay. And you're talking about giving feedback, right? Observing. And let me agree with you that observational coaching is the best way to coach, right? Viewing what the individual does. You can't do it via spreadsheet or having a conversation, although that's what I do. and hopefully people are honest. The challenge with that is, let's say you work with each of your reps once a month. Let's say you work with them 3 times a month.
Yep.
What happens the other 17 days that they're alone?
I get my observable
That's
moments.
when development happens.
Yep.
So I'm not saying what your approach. I like it. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know, right? And if you can help deepen those learnings through sharing, because I've had people who are very smart say, Steven, just give me the answer. And then of course I think, okay, I'm a lousy coach because I'm telling people. So sometimes people don't know what they don't know. But the whole theory behind asking is, and sometimes I repeat myself a number of times, right? I just keep repeating. But what you want people to do is when they're not with you, to ask the same questions as if the coach is there. How did the call go? What can you do better? Because development happens on those other 17 days that you're not there with them in the month, if you're working 3 times a month with them. So it's probably a combination of both. I don't think it's one or the other. But what I'd like to do is create self-managers. And the one way you create self-managers is by getting them to think on their own, by getting them to be self-coaches. So when they're not with you, they're saying, hey, they have, the badass on their shoulder saying, what would Keenan ask me here? And if you can get to that point, you're actually progressing that development because they're not waiting for you to tell them, oh, fuck you. You went there, you turned right when you should have turned left.
Okay. So I like that. And I don't think we're actually that far off.
No, probably not.
So I like and buy into the questions when it comes to the absorb and apply piece, particularly the application. So for instance, either when I'm coaching a skier, right? Or I'm either coaching salespeople, or when I'm being coached as a skier and I've given the prescription using my nomenclature, right? Yep. The prescription, do this. I'll ask them, how did that feel? Or what did you notice? Right? Yep. Or how did you, right? So I want from a self-assessment in the absorb and apply elements, I'm 100% with you. I think where I was being very direct is I don't want to waste anybody's time to ask people what they think they should do. I'm going to tell you what you should do as the expert. It's your job then to figure out how to execute against that in a way that is going to work for you, understanding the environment, right? Because it doesn't do me any, I like what you said, that you don't know what you don't know. If these guys on the hill are trying to teach me how to mogul ski, and they're like, well, what do you think you should do? Right? And I'm like, I don't have a fucking clue. That's why I'm talking to you. Like, I don't know. That's why I'm here. Then they say, okay, when you see the mogul, we need you to pull your heels back at this particular point. That then allows the tips to drop into the backside of the mogul. And then it allows you to tip or edge and ski through it. And it helps with absorption. Oh, okay, that makes sense to me. So then I go try it, and they say, well, how did that feel? I'm like, well, this happened and that happened. And I feel like the skis are going straight up, or I feel like I'm too far over. And then they say, okay, this is what's happening, right? So they get me to self-assess, but they tell me what to do.
Okay,
so they're the experts.
So your theory is based on the assumption the individual doesn't know because the coach is the expert. And what I'm seeing with managers, especially been there for a long time and there's new products, they lose that expertise.
Then I don't think you can coach.
See, that's really the question at hand, right? Do you have to be an expert to coach?
Yep.
And I'm saying, no, you have to know enough to ask the right questions.
Okay.
Right? To help someone self-assess. But my belief is, and I guess it depends what tenure of sales rep you're working on. If it's a brand new rep, they don't know what they don't know. Yep. But if you're working with a mid to senior rep, if they don't know, then you're in trouble.
If who doesn't know?
The sales rep doesn't know what they need to be doing.
The salesman or the sales manager?
Well, what I'm saying is, in many cases, as you get, I'm saying both, but what I'm saying is the sales rep really should be the expert. And I know we've kind of deviated off topic here.
No, this is good. I think this is good. No, I don't think this, keep going.
But if the sales rep is not the expert in sales, then you may have a challenge.
How come? Because that's my job as a sales leader, to help them become an expert.
Well, my assumption is they are the expert because that's their job. and you're there to make them better, right? We're coming back to the same goal. It's to make them better than they can themselves. And the coach is there to help them self-assess so they can progress along the spectrum of good to great.
All right, so let's play that out. This is a really interesting. This is I'm pretty sure this isn't where you want to go, but we find ourselves here now, right?
Okay. Well, go ahead.
Let's play this out. You can have someone self-assess, and I'm going to go with something more concrete, and they can self-assess themselves into horrible habits, right? That get modicum of return. And that was one of my challenges as a mogul skier. I was self-taught. I had buddies who were good mogul skiers that would give me a little tips or help me self-assess or help me understand it a little. And I could ski moguls better than most, but I was horrible. I had all of these horrible habits that worked, that made me better than I was before, right? And one of the big ones for me was extension. Like I would come over and extend way out and try to hit the mogul and then pull back. Well, that level of extension got my feet out from in front of me, and I'm now 50 years old still trying to fight that horrible habit because nobody explained. I had no expertise to help me understand that's not the way to ski the moguls. And here's the funny part about it. I could ski them faster for a while before I made this transition. I just couldn't speed control. And when they got certain steep or they got too icy, I couldn't respond in certain situations. And so I hear you, but I needed the expertise to get to a certain level. So yes, you can get better by coaching, but if you don't have the expertise, you can send people down a road they can't come back from, or they're horrible habits.
I can't argue with that. Let's leave that. And it's interesting because most of my fireside chats have been direct agreement. So I'm glad you've shared some cool examples when it comes to sports. Tiger Woods is always the optimal example of someone who changes his swing and they break things down and start over. But there's very few who are so dedicated that can go ahead and do that.
I will give you this, though. I will give you this, my man. I completely agree with you that the person coaching doesn't have to execute better. That I will be in full commitment. So they just have to have expertise. They don't have to be good at executing it. So for instance, again, using the Tiger Woods example, we'll use the mogul skiing. Your Canadian gold medal mogul skiing champion in the most recent Olympics, which was in Pyongyang or wherever it was, he has a coach that can't ski anywhere nearly as good as he can. Nowhere nearly.
Yeah, I get it.
So I agree with you there. You don't have to execute better. You just have to have the expertise to help improve.
So tell me, if you were going to give a couple tips, a couple things I noted down here, one of the areas that we talk about a lot, and a lot of the companies I work with ask me this very question: how many days should my sales manager spend in the field? And if you were going to give a tip on that, tell me your thought process and what you would say. Have you been asked that question?
Yeah, I get asked a lot. So I want to take the field out of it. What I like to do is change it from being in the field. I want to change it to observable moments. That's what I call them.
Okay.
I think as a manager, and I'm failing at this big time. I have, a couple people that work for me. I love them to death, and I need to get better at it. But I'm also the product, so no excuse. But it is what it is. I believe that if a sales manager or leader or coach, let's go coach, can find, we'll stick with salespeople, can find, and the size of the sales organization all plays a role. But let's say you have the 6 to 8 maximum sales organization. You know what I'm saying? If you can find 1 to 2 quantifiable, observable moments per week, per rep, you're doing awesome. And so that observable moment could be in the field watching them sell. It could be listening to a recorded phone call. It could be sitting and watching them during a pipeline review meeting. It just depends on what skill that you're trying to develop. Like I loved your point before, depending on what you're focused on, then you got to find observable moments where that person is executing that skill in the moment.
Right.
You can find 1 or 2, just 1 or 2 a week per rep. You're killing it, in my opinion.
Okay, interesting. And how do you help managers plan for that? Because one of the biggest challenges is the battle. And you know what the battle is between revenue generating time and non-revenue generating time.
But okay, notice what you just said. Whatever sales manager believes that coaching is non-revenue generating time shouldn't be a sales leader.
That's not what I said. Is that what I said? Calm down. Calm
Okay,
down.
you implied the
Because
battle
what I'm saying is administrative work is non-revenue generating. And there's a battle that goes on for their time with all the minutia and shit that are part of the corporate world.
But coaching's not
time.
administrative work.
Say that again?
Coaching's not administrative work.
No, I'm right. I'm saying there's a battle between coaching time, meeting customers, generating revenue, and all the other stuff that managers are asked to do.
Oh, I see. Got it. So you're putting it in that camp.
So I'm with you.
Yeah,
You described it right. But there's a battle between those times. An old study that I have says it's 50-50. Because we work with managers and their first biggest point, I want to be coaching more, but you give me tons of crap to do. Right?
I'm going to defer to your expertise on that. You tell them.
Okay.
I'm not good at that stuff.
Okay.
How do you do it?
So here's the easy answer: is as much time as you can. If you think of Stephen Covey, big rocks, coaching is your big rock.
Oh, I like that. That was good.
Okay. So what you do is you plan that first. I'm very big in planning, and I'm big in executing. Not the best on strategy, but planning and execution are my bags. So what I do is I have hacks for them or a spreadsheet that they start to plan their time when they're going to be interacting with their reps, and then review that. So they're looking over a year. I'm going to be with each of my reps once a month, whatever that may be. That's certainly not the right formula, but starting to look at their time, and that becomes the first thing they do, their first rock, and not, I'm supposed to work with Keenan this week, but I got a meeting coming up, right? And then by default, your revenue generating time defaults to the bottom because meetings are more important. And I think there's a mentality in the corporate world where, yes, we want you coaching, but if we call a meeting, that's more important. Well, it's talking out of two sides of your mouth. And so what I see is the battle going on between what I call the minutia, or the stuff you have to do, versus that time where you can really have an impact as a sales manager. And I remember when I was a VP of sales, I used to joke, saying, can you please bring me pictures of customers so we can put them up on the wall, so when I'm sitting in meetings, I can see what our customers actually look like.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's good. Yeah.
But that was the reality of my life. Now, I accepted the fact that, I'm chained to the office, although I shouldn't be, but as a regional sales manager or district sales manager, we also chain you. The corporation chains you. And then at the end of the year, if your results are not there, then we're shitting on you as well. Why aren't your results not there? Mm-hmm. So I forgot the question I asked. How do you help people? I have a simple planning tool, which is an Excel spreadsheet. Those still work. It doesn't have to be an app. That you start to plan your time and commit your time in advance.
I like that. I really like the foundation of Big Rock. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. No question.
So
good call. And I guess what I would say there is make it a priority.
100%.
I get in debates a lot of time with people. Some people I piss them off. Well, I piss off a lot of people, but people come to me and say, "Oh, I didn't have any time." Right? "Oh, I didn't have any time." I said, "Don't tell me you didn't have any time." "I didn't have any time." I said, "Don't tell me you didn't have any time." "Yes, you did." "No, I didn't." I said, "No, let me clear this up for you. You didn't make it a priority."
100%.
Tell me it's not time. It's not a priority. Now, I get if at the end of the day you want to tell me I just chose not to make it a priority, that's your intention, and that's okay, and I can live with that. When people say they don't have time, really what they're saying is they're chicken shits. They know they're in contradiction. I know this is a priority. My kids, my wife, my husband, my spouse, my job, my coaching. But for whatever reason, I chose to put something ahead of it because my boss told me to, or I was afraid of something, or I was just lazy, or I didn't want to do it. And so to cover up for the lack of appropriate prioritization, they hide behind, I didn't have enough time. That's a cop-out.
I'm with you. So let's leave a message that we can agree upon. Make coaching your priority.
Yes.
And how you get there may be a combination of planning. Maybe it's saying no to your boss, saying, "No, I'm out with Tony this week or today, and sorry, I can't make it." And have some tacit agreement there. But corporations at the end of the year, nobody cares what you did on Tuesday, April 2nd or whatever date that was. If you weren't coaching, then it's your bad decision. Mm-hmm. So when you talk to coaching and where do you focus coaching time on? What are some of the key areas that you feel managers should be coaching to? Not to.
Are you talking skills?
Well, I'm asking you. I'm not telling you what I'm talking.
Well,
But
so I sort of, the reason I asked that is I didn't want to be redundant. I
okay.
spend my time observation first and foremost. As creating as many observable moments as I possibly can.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, and so once we get the plan, we know what the objective is, we know where they want to go, what they want to achieve, then I try to find as many observable moments as I can. From those observable moments, I describe what I see, and I prescribe the next step, and then that sets the circle, right? So then I say, why don't you try this, or do this, or ask these types of questions, or focus on this, whatever it is. And then then in my next observable moment, I'm looking to see how they execute against the prescription. And usually it's, it's somewhere, in between. I got this much or this much. And so, okay, then you describe, this was fantastic. I saw you do this. I saw you do this. This happened, that happened. And I described the impact. Then some other things, did you notice this? When you did this, here's the impact. You did this, here's the impact. That's not the impact you're looking for. You're trying to achieve a different result. So next time when you try that, consider this, a prescription again. And then we observe and do it again. It's just, woo.
I got it. Yeah. It is circular. I look at it as circular as well. So I assume, based on your question, that you focus on skills, not KPIs or.
Skills.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of KSAs, knowledge, skills, and action.
So what are those? Keenan sales actions?
Yeah, the actions of what they're doing. How the actions that are coming out of it. I'm a big fan of Carol Dweck in Mastery Mindset.
Oh, okay. The customers are calling already.
Beautiful thing. Off the hook. Yeah. So Mastery Mindset. I'm a big fan of the Mastery Mindset. So I try to coach to that.
Okay. I love it. So if you were to give your two biggest tips, saying, hey, managers, and I know you did a really good study, and hopefully we can offer that out to our participants. Of course, yeah. But you did a really good study on coaching. And if you were to say, hey, we want to maximize your impact, and I'm going to prescribe two things for you as a sales manager to do, what would those be?
From a tactical perspective, the first one is to build into your day or your week or your calendar opportunities, specific and definable opportunities to have observable moments.
Got it. I love it.
No coaching. Yeah, there's no coaching without it. You gotta watch your salespeople. You gotta see them do the job. And then I think the next one would be, this is a tough one. I guess the next one would be really, really work on your personal ability. In skiing, we call it movement analysis.
Okay.
So in other words, it's not good in skiing actually to get my level 2 cert, which is sort of like the bar. Only 50% of people pass it on their first time. You're level 3, forget it. It takes some people years to get it. It's really hard. And one of the things in skiing is called movement analysis. So it's not good enough just to have an observable moment. You actually have to be able to recognize what you see in terms of improvement, right? Like you got to be able to find the faults and be able to and assess how those faults impact the desired result, or not faults. I don't want to get all wishy-washy, but you get my point.
No,
right?
I get it. Yeah. Maybe areas for improvement.
Yes. And so I think the next one I say to people is getting really good at understanding what good looks like.
Right. True.
Yes. If you don't know what good looks like from an execution and an action perspective, not a results, 10% increase in this, but I mean literally in the execution. If you don't know what good looks like, then you can't coach. So back to the expertise piece thing, in my opinion. So I got to watch and listen, like, oh, that's what good looks like, and I got to work on that. So I guess the next thing I would say to managers is make sure you know what good looks like, so that when you're watching them, you can actually assess it, see it, and actually offer prescriptions or alternatives to their current behavior that are going to make a difference.
Cool. So you're an inspirational guy, right?
I don't know, man.
You are. Okay.
I don't know. I fire people up one way or the other. That's
okay.
For sure.
Okay, but that's good. That's good. You at least it's not status quo with you.
No.
What's your biggest tip for inspiring people?
Today, because it always changes, right? And I get inspired. So give me a second. I'm going to butcher this. But I saw this the other day, and I actually sent it to my youngest daughter, who's really getting into all things mogul skiing. And she's doing competitions, is doing really well, and blah, blah, blah. And I saw this the other day, and it was awesome. So this is what I say to people now, at least for the next few weeks. I'm sure something else will come up down the road.
That's okay.
But I learned it from Beethoven. And what he says is, Beethoven, do not merely practice your art, but force your way into its secrets. Too many of us play on the surface. We take what we're told. We follow the conventional wisdom and can get really good at that, right? You could be a really good salesperson if you follow conventional wisdom for selling. You could be a really good pianist if you follow conventional wisdom for writing music or playing the piano. But the greats, they go the step lower and dig into the actual secrets, the core elements of what it is they're doing, and that allows them to change the game.
I'm inspired. I love it.
So yes, that's what I would say to people today. Don't practice your art, force your way into its secrets.
Interesting. And with people, understanding what inspires them, if you can peel back the onion, just taking from your example, because most people will tell you money when they're playing along the surface.
Yep.
But we don't do what we do for money.
Nope.
Right? There's other reasons, making a difference, doing a good job, pleasing your boss maybe, but there's always true motivations. And if we can find those, we can help inspire people on what truly drives them. So it has been a pleasure today to have you on our Fireside Chat.
Thank you, baby.
And look forward to other opportunities to collaborate. It's always enjoyable.
Anytime, my pleasure, man. I love you. You're a good cat.
Great Fireside Chat. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. And for those of you who've hung in, I've got something special for you. I'm going to give you a special offer to help you to start crushing your sales numbers in 2019. I've broken down performance into 3 zones. One, I call for those sales leaders who are crushing it or 100% or over are in the crushing it zone. You're making big bonus. Your team is content. You feel like you're making impact. We all want to live in the crushing it zone. Then if you're below 100% and you're between 90 and 99.9, you're struggling. You're in the caution zone. Things are a lot tougher. You had a tough time finishing off the year, and not everyone is making bonus. And that's probably 30 to 40% of managers. And then there's folks who are in what I call the danger zone. And you know what the danger zone is. You're below 90% of quota, and you're struggling to make your sales numbers. Life is not as good as it can be. So ask yourself where you finished off the last year and see what you're going to do differently. If you're struggling, what are you going to do differently in the new year to make an impact on your sales? Okay? And sales leadership is not about making speeches. It's not about attributes. It's about results. So as a sales leader, we all want to be in the crushing it zone, and I'm going to help you find ways to get there. And the one solution I have, and I'll share with you why coaching and effective coaching that's done frequently and methodically can have a tremendous impact and move you out of whatever zone you're in into the crushing it zone. Research from Corporate Executive Board shows that highly effective coaches drive 19% more sales than their less effective counterparts. Yet, only 7% of sales managers are effectively coaching, according to Dave Kirtland and Associates. So we provide you with the Focus Sales Coaching, which offers you a step-by-step video instructions workbook that you can go back and look over and understand and learn and become really good at coaching. The second thing is there's a 17% increase in sales for coaches who are out more often than their coaching counterparts who are not out in the field very frequently. The only problem is, according to Dave Kirtland and Associates, only 14% of sales managers spend enough time in the field coaching. So we provide you with tools to plan your coaching time and to track your coaching time, because that's going to make a big impact on your overall sales. And the last statistic that came from CSO Insights showed that sales coaches who follow a coaching methodology get
help to close 17% more sales than their counterparts who don't follow a formal coaching methodology. The only problem is, according to research that we've done in the STAR Sales Manager Report, is that only 44% of companies follow a formal coaching process. So with Focus Sales Coaching, we have a proven coaching process that follows 4 steps and it involves using a coaching mindset. We'll teach you our system so you can have a proven methodology and close more sales. So at the end of the day, you know the opportunity. If you're in any of those zones, whether it be the caution zone or the danger zone, you know the opportunity to get out of that is coaching. And as Nike says, it's really up to you to just do it. I've provided you with a solution that will help you move into the crushing it zone. It'll help you make bigger bonuses. It'll help pump up your team and help you feel like you're making tremendous impact on your sales. So all you need to do is sign up, and I'll give you a free coaching session to make sure you can effectively implement the methodology, and we'll give it to you at a special price. And all you need to do is go to the simple URL to get a workbook and to get access to the Focus Sales Coaching course, which you can take as many times as you want. You can practice, you can go chapter by chapter, and all you need to do is go to www.starresults.com/2019. If you want to have a kick-ass year in 2019 and you're not getting the performance you need, I highly suggest you check out Focus Sales Coaching because you want to live in the crushing it zone.